Welcome back to Stress Free Glamour. I'm Janet, and I would like to go over the chore that I hate the most when it comes to makeup, and that is cleaning my makeup brushes. I typically try to do that once a week, only because my brushes are used daily, and unfortunately I'm concerned about bacteria gathering up on them. I do have rosacea, so I have to be very careful about how clean my brushes are. Not only that, but I also like my brushes to last for a long time. I've invested money in these. Some of them are, actually most of them are on the cheaper side, but I do have some expensive brushes that I would really like to have them last for an extended period of time. My brushes are synthetic. I do prefer synthetic. They are much easier to clean, and they have a tendency to hold up better over time. So there are multiple ways to clean brushes. The first one we're going to go over is what's called Cinema Secrets. This is about $35 a bottle. I've bought it on eBay. I do like it. It has a very chemically smell at first, but once it dries, your brushes do have a tendency to smell like vanilla. It does disinfect them, and that's really important. So I just take the brush, I immerse it, dab it around. The liquid gets really gross. I wipe it off on a towel, and the brush is clear. It's all cleaned, and I would say ready to use in about 30 to 40 seconds. So I will put this off to the side. However, that may not be cost effective for you. And I certainly don't use it all the time. My other option is I use Castile soap. This one is, I believe, Walgreens brand. It is peppermint, and mint has a tendency to be antimicrobial. So I have a tendency to favor it, and it smells really nice. I will use that with, this is a Real Techniques makeup cleaning palette. What I do is I take the Castile soap, I place it on the palette, I use water, I swirl the brush around for about 20 seconds, and then I rinse it really, really, really well. I may go through and wash several brushes at a time, then I'll rinse them and rub them on a clean palette, only because I have a tendency to get a lot of soap inside of them. So we'll go through this real quick. Take this, put a little bit on here, take some water, take a brush, and I usually count to 20. And if you notice, it's starting to foam up a little bit. That's the way I can tell that it's working. But the different textures inside the palette help get the brush clean in a nice little foamy at the top. I will do another one, only because I don't want to waste. If you notice, this one was a little bit grimier than the previous one, and you can see how gross it is. So once again, I clean it for about 20 seconds, and I will rinse. I'll take both of them. I do not immerse my brushes in anything. If you immerse them, what will happen is that the glue in the ferrule, that's this portion right here, the glue in the ferrule will actually weaken, and that will cause your brush to degrade. That means that you're going to have issues with your brushes. They'll fall apart. So I'll go through. You notice it's kind of squeaky clean. Make sure that they're rinsed well. Then, and if I'm feeling really mischievous, what I will do is I will take the brushes and shake them out while chasing the cats. I have 3 of them. I shake them out really well. Then I will set them on the corner or the edge of a countertop to dry. I'll have the bristles off of the edge, only because I am concerned about them drying only on one side and then bacteria forming. So that's typically how I'll wash my makeup brushes. How I'll wash my makeup sponge, I will typically not use that. Let's grab a grimier sponge. I will typically not use Cinema Secrets or the Castile soap. My favorite, believe it or not, is Ivory soap. I will take that, let me move this over here. I will get my sponge nice and wet. I'll get the ivory soap going. Typically, my hands get them all soaked up. And I will wash the sponge. And if you notice, what's coming out of the sponge is really gross. That's all the makeup that's coming out. I will wash this multiple times until I feel that it's clean. And I typically feel that it's clean when it's clear. When clear water is running out after all the soap is gone, that's when I feel that it's clean. And this one's a little gross, so it'll take a lot longer. But typically, once that's clean, then I will disinfect them. Because sponges have a tendency to get the bacteria built up into them. My sponge will not come completely clean. It's typically staining from the makeup. I use some pretty heavy duty stuff, particularly when I have a rosacea flare-up. I will use much heavier coverage than I typically use. So when I want to disinfect it, I will take a glass, I will put the sponge in the glass, fill it up with water, and I will microwave it for 2 minutes. I will leave it in the microwave. I will not grab it right away because by that time the water is boiling hot. I will leave it in there for quite some time, let it cool down, and once it's cooled down, I will grab it, and then I'll squeeze it out and let it dry. So that's how I clean my makeup brushes and my makeup sponges. Whatever option works for you is great. Just remember, don't immerse your brushes, otherwise you will destroy the glue and the ferrule. You can certainly use makeup cleaning solids and gels. Those are great. They have a tendency to be more expensive. It's just something that I typically don't use. The Cinema Secrets I do like, but I don't use it very frequently. I may get 15 batches of brushes clean with one bottle, so that's pretty expensive. I will typically do that maybe every 4 times that I'm cleaning my brushes, but most of the time I will be using the Peppermint Castile soap. It smells really great, and it does get your brushes clean. Just make sure that you rinse really, really, really well. Once again, do not soak your brushes. You will ruin them. And then when cleaning a makeup sponge, typically I just really like using ivory soap. I think it's great. I think it works well. I think it smells nice and it rinses easily. And then following that, I do disinfect my sponges in the microwave for about 2 minutes in water. Please don't put the sponge in the microwave without water. You will melt the sponge. I've learned that one from experience. I completely ruined a sponge, and it took me forever to get that melted spongy mess off of my microwave turntable, so that was more than slightly gross. I hope that this is informative. I hope this is useful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, gorgeous.